So today I'm going to be talking about CineStill 800T. I've been after this film stock for a while now. Finally got my hands on some, got about 3 or 4 rolls of it. So you've probably already heard of CineStill, but if you haven't, it's actually a tungsten balanced color negative film. It's quite a tongue twister to say, but finally got there in the end. But yeah, it's made from motion picture film, or prepared from the same stuff. I think it's just cut down. That actually makes it really incredible for shooting like cinematic scenes, and also you get these red halations over light sources. This was my first time shooting CineStill 800T. I've never shot it before, so yeah, this is just running you through kind of a vlog situation of what I went through, my first impressions and things like that. So I decided to walk through the inner city suburbs of Brisbane City, shoot different night scenes and things I came across, try to find some ambient light and some different light sources, and yeah, see what I can do with it. So the first part of the night I decided to walk through South Bank. There's a really nice art museum there, and it's very well lit, and there's all these cool different points to it, and some really nice architecture, just beautiful surroundings, some greenery. A lot of brickwork, and yeah, just different light, and I thought I could do something with that. So one of the first images I took was of a photo booth. They're sort of becoming very archaic in this day and age. I don't see anyone using one, so I thought I'd kind of create that cinematic feel you get when you're watching like a thriller movie and the phone's ringing and you've got someone on the other end and then they rush to it, and yeah, I just thought that would match with that kind of cinematic thriller concept I had for that shot. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th scene that I shot was of this staircase leading downwards. It looked like it was leading to nowhere, which looked quite cool. It kind of was cohesive with the photo booth scene in a way, and you've got the security camera in the corner, and it kind of matches with that thriller vibe. I'm definitely reaching here and trying to create a concept out of 2 really kind of mediocre photos, but yeah, just run with it. I've been actually piecing together a design at the moment, so I'm kind of always looking for 2 images that would be cohesive together, so I guess that's probably where I'm coming from. I think it's a good thing to look for when you're out shooting and you're maybe got a project in mind and you want kind of a few photos to be tell the same story, or visualize something together with them. So after that I actually walked further around the art museum, tried to find a few more scenes. We're dealing with urban photography here, so I was trying to find leading lines, some nice ambient light, as I said before, and yeah, just kind of get some nice compositions together. I actually took all the footage with my iPhone, so it might turn out a bit pixelated. I think it actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. The 4K on the new iPhone is actually pretty good, but I'm not going to know until I edit it, so hopefully it holds up well, but yeah, otherwise I'm sorry about that. Talking about gear, the gear I used that night was the Sigma 35mm 1.4 lens, as well as the Canon EOS 500. As you can tell, I quite like using that pair, especially when I get a film stock I haven't used. It's a good kind of basis to try out because I'm quite used to that camera. But yeah, I definitely would have used a tripod and a shutter release cable next time. I felt a few of the scenes I had a bit of motion blur because I had to use lower shutter speeds. Sometimes I had to stop down to 1.4 because there wasn't much available light, and then you start to see like parts of the foreground out of focus and things like that, which I don't really like. I like seeing the whole photo in focus rather than having bits out. So after I left South Bank, I actually ventured into the city. I made sure to practice social distancing when it got to any busier sections, which I didn't really come across because I've made sure to leave quite late at night, so I wasn't coming across anyone leaving work or going to something after work. But yeah, so it was pretty safe. It was super eerie to see Brisbane so empty. I think it added another factor of isolation and emptiness to my photos. But yeah, it was just crazy to see already a city that's so quiet already for me, moving from London, to see it even more empty was definitely a sense of eeriness to it. So as I walked further into the city, I found this well-lit tunnel, and by the tunnel was this little ledge I placed my camera on and took a long exposure, and I ran through the tunnel with a light to try and see if I can get, you know, a light flash through the tunnel. Came out okay, you can see it here, and it kind of made like an M signature, which kind of works for me considering my second name is Mehmet. Ideally I would have set the exposure for a bit longer to get a more longer light trail, but yeah, I just didn't end up shooting it the second time. But next time I'll definitely try something similar. I think it came off quite well, and I like the M signature that came out anyway. So after I left the city, I went into Chinatown, and I actually made probably my favorite photograph of the night of these red chairs. It was slightly underexposed. That underexposure gave it an extra bit of grain to add to that texture. All the lines were straight as well, straight out the camera. I didn't have to do any adjustments, which worked really well. Every scene, especially this one, encapsulated that emptiness. There was no tables made, no utensils out, no waiters around. It just had a very abandoned feel to the whole place. After that, I remembered there was a restaurant not too far from Chinatown that had a lot of neon lights. It had this American diner look to it as well, called Le Bubbles, so I thought I'd go down there and check it out. I find that when you shoot an older aesthetic building like that with a 50s 60s kind of diner feel to it, it really suits being shot on film. That's probably what it was shot on back in the day, so it has that nostalgic feel to it. When you've got things like neon signs, you've got to make sure you meter correctly. Sometimes you can overexpose and lose the detail in the neon sign. Also, it's good to have some ambient light around, and that brings some detail up in the shadows and doesn't concentrate the light source too much on the highlights. That way you get an evenly exposed image per se. So after I went home that night, I had about 7 shots left in my roll. So the next night I decided to go for a skate and find some different scenes in South Bank. Overall, I'd say I was quite impressed with CineStill. It definitely kept up to that cinematic vibe I've seen a lot of other photographers create, and I would love to experiment more with it, try some different things out, maybe a few portraits, I don't know, maybe using the tripod like I said with the shutter release cable to get some more detail, even use medium format and get some 120 rolls of CineStill. That'd be really fun to see if I can capture something more detailed and a bit different. But yeah, overall I had a really fun time with it. It was really great to just shoot at night. It was my first time shooting film at night, so it was just really good to get out there and try something different, and yeah, definitely learned a few things along the way which I'm going to implement in my shots moving forward. But yeah, had a good time, and thanks for watching. Also, I just want to say I appreciate all the support I've been getting through messages and comments. It really means a lot and makes me want to create more content, so I appreciate that, and thanks so much for watching. And yeah, I've definitely got some more videos coming out soon, about 3 or 4 in the loop, so yeah, keep an eye out for those, and yeah, I'll see you again soon. Peace out. Bye.